There is no limit to what the average man will do to get girls to like him. But since you're not the average guy, you're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Now, one of the most asked questions in the entire world is how to change how girls view you. Which brings me to a little something called male competition. Something that many guys care about way too much is competition, or more specifically, competition between them and other males. Guys are always worried that another man is going to quote-unquote take their girlfriend. Now, it goes without saying that if another man can take your girlfriend, you most likely needed a new girlfriend anyway. But as guys, we do tend to get pretty territorial, and it's not uncommon for many of us to view girls as something that we can possess in the same way that we might possess a car or something. But the reality is that you will never actually possess another human being, unless of course you're wanting to go to jail for a really long time. So many guys get extremely caught up and jealous, and they worry about the girl that they like or their wife talking to other people. And some guys can get really crazy with this stuff. And when you really think about it, you're really just getting jealous about what might happen. Something that's really important to understand is that even if she's your girlfriend, you will never actually own a girl. And if you become too jealous or you worry too much about male competition, you're just going to give off the vibe of a man who has no value, thus achieving the exact effect that you were hoping to avoid in the first place. Now, once you stop worrying about the competition and trying to possess girls you find attractive, you'll find that you will begin to put out a completely new vibe, and you'll become an entirely new man. Always remember that like attracts like and trash attracts trash, so do your best to avoid the trash. Stopping your mind from worrying too much about other male competition is one of the best ways to change how girls view you forever. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is easily the most important, and it's also the most common thing that 99% of guys do. Various behavioral studies have been done to show how men act when a group of girls walk by them and vice versa, and what they found is that men will puff their chests out, they'll stand up straight, and they will unconsciously do several other things that are designed to make themselves look as attractive as possible. This is actually a great idea because it works really well. But then there's something that guys do that is a little bit more sinister. And it's something that many of us do without ever even realizing it. The thing that so many of us do is we try to put out this image of perfection, so we try to hide our vulnerabilities and our flaws. And when you're courting females, making yourself appear like some sort of perfected character from a movie can definitely work wonders, but only in the beginning. Because you all know the saying, if you act like a celebrity, girls will act like your fans. But at some point, or sooner rather than later, the real you must shine through. Now, the thing that girls love most about a guy is actually his rough edges. And paradoxically, I know everything with girls is a freaking paradox. But paradoxically, it's your little flaws that make you charming and appealing to people. Far too often, guys think that girls want the perfect man. And even though their dating profile might try to convince you otherwise, the perfect man is not what they actually want. When we try to constantly hide our flaws, it really comes from a place of weakness and a place of insecurity. And these are easily the two most unattractive traits that a man can display. So when we embrace our flaws, instead of trying to hide them, these things actually end up becoming our strength and our confidence. So when we stop trying to hide our flaws and trying to be perfect all the time, girls will never look at us the same, but in a good way. Now, next up is the third and easily the most important thing that you are about to hear in this video. Now, think back to one of the most embarrassing moments that you have had in your life, and chances are these things or this thing happened while you were trying to impress somebody. Now, try to imagine a world where you have an entire ocean of fish, and every fish in that ocean is trying to proclaim to the ocean just how cool and important he is. Men have gone to unimaginable lengths in an attempt to impress the girls that they like. And not to make light of a really tragic event that happened recently, a man actually drowned after diving into a pool and proposing to his girlfriend through a glass window at the bottom of the pool. In the end, the man was able to propose to her, but before she could say yes, he never actually made it to the surface. So what this illustrates is that the things that we as men are capable of doing to impress a girl really has no limits at all. But it should. You see, as humans, we all want people to think highly of us, and it's totally natural to want to make a good impression. But when you take it too far, and when you're only trying to impress people because you're insecure and you want people, or more specifically girls, to like you, that's when you've gone just a little bit too far. Nobody likes the guy who tries to humble brag about money or some other material thing that he has. And if you ever find yourself doing or saying something that's completely ridiculous by your own standards just to impress a girl, just stop. And when you stop trying to impress other people all the time, you will paradoxically change how girls view you forever, but in a good way. Now, next up is the fourth and the final point, and this one is, you guessed it, the most important one to understand. Now, think back to a time when you came across that one girl who wasn't afraid to call you out on your BS. Or the girl who, when you were at your lowest point in life and had no confidence, had absolutely no problem giving you one straight to the jaw. This is the girl who, after meeting her, immediately called attention to your enormous nose and laughed at how big and ugly it is, and basically gave you the mental equivalent of a huge slap across the face. In this situation, there'll be times in life where people will say some awful things to us, and if a girl is unconsciously testing your confidence or your strength, as they often do, the last thing that you want to do is get genuinely offended. Many guys, especially in today's world, are so quick to get offended at the tiniest little insult, but life is too short to get offended. Choosing to not get offended is one of the easiest ways to change how girls view you forever, because when you don't get offended easily, you demonstrate to people that you have confidence and that you have value, and you show people that you are not somebody who is easily shaken. So many guys out there feel like they are completely invisible more today than ever before. And these are some simple changes that you can make to yourself to change how girls view you forever. And with that said, until next time, thank you so much for watching.